There is political analyst Professor Lesiba Teffo live from our Pretoria studios. Prof, good evening to you. We're going to be discussing the upcoming trial and, of course, a number of political issues in the ether at the moment. But let's start with the upcoming Zuma charges. Finally, the summons have been issued and the party trying to keep some distance, at least officially, from the former president.
But I think that is the right thing to do. The question for me is, are they going to be able to sustain what is a principle stance that says presumed innocent until proven guilty, and that membership across the color line, across the spectrum, is not advised to put on the colors of the party to go and support him? And who's speaking? Because there are many ANCs within the ANC. Much as they talk unity, evidence suggests that they aren't there yet. It is desirable. We wish they retain that. But I keep asking myself, the MK veterans suggested that they would support. The Women's League, the Youth League, and so many other organizations are emerging out of the wood to say they will give him support. And indeed, he's a man who's not down and out yet. Now the question is, can you forgo the support he has? At what cost? Do you want to retain him and then he be part of the collective that is going to campaign? That is a political conundrum that the ANC faces right now.
It's definitely going to be a tricky one going forward because, of course, the all-important province of KZN is where the former president is most popular. And we've already seen him begin what might be called early campaigning in that province. Ditching him now will certainly not serve the governing party well.
Yes, you see, the rub of it is, at what cost would you be willing to ditch him? The most prudent thing to do right now would be to ditch him. But you must do your mathematics well. And I'm saying, as a matter of principle, do it. But there is a cost attached to that. And the principal beneficiary, if you ditch him, will be the IFP and the DA. Because the tendency out in Africa to mobilize, especially when one sees oneself as a victim, is to revert to ethnic nationalism or ethnic extraction. And one can see that already emerging. The focus and the fulcrum of the whole operation in support of Zuma seems to be based in KwaZulu-Natal. And I don't blame him nor the people out there. It's unfortunate, but that's how Africa mobilizes itself, especially when one finds himself endangered or faced with extinction.
It's certainly going to be a tricky one for the party to navigate. Let's talk now about the report back from what was discussed at the ANC's conference. The Secretary General saying today that party members should not resort to the courts to resolve internal party disputes and party issues. But of course, we also know that at that conference in December, a number of the outstanding issues were resolved via the courts, even when the party itself had pronounced on them. Which way will this go?
Yes, that's a good one, because they've said it many a times, but we have seen people going to court. And what becomes interesting is who's saying it at that particular in time. What is the influence, the power of the party, the person saying that at a point in time? I keep saying there are many ANCs within the ANC. It's too fractured an organization, and indeed, McBuffalo won, but with 2%. And he's desirous of bringing unity. But clearly there are those that say 5 years is not too much. If we keep our identity, appear to be playing along, we can still come back and put up a strong fight back for a battle to win the soul of the party, so to speak. So yes, it is not going to be easy. You can say I put up a dispute resolution mechanism or commission, and indeed, what is the worth of the commission's report? They never act on them. If anything, they have a tendency to discredit those who are serving in the commission, let alone implementing the recommendation. Yes, it's desirable. Yes, it could help if they appoint the right people, men and women of integrity, to men or to lead, to serve on those commissions. Indeed, if they are committed to implementing, yes, it might help them going forward.
Well, the Secretary General saying today, if you don't like it, there's the door. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in such a factionalized environment. Now, the ANC isn't the only party with some political problems to resolve in the coming days. We also know that the EFF is due to address supporters in Nelson Mandela Bay ahead of that proposed vote of no confidence against Mayor Athol Trollip. Will this hurt the party if they somehow manage to return the Metro back to the ANC after those 2016 local government elections?
Yes, let me just comment on the last remark you made earlier on, that if you don't toe the line, as the Secretary General said, then you will have to vamoose or move away. Do we have the caliber of leadership that can pronounce and look one in the eye and say that? Nelson Mandela once told Peter Mokaba, I've advised you against the song, you continued, you make a choice. Either you go away to form your own party or you toe the line. And Peter Mokaba had to toe the line. But do we have men and women who can stand up and speak with that authority? I'm not sure. But coming to the one of the EFF, I must say, in the past 3 months, I have seen the EFF undoing what I thought was a possible formidable party in the making. And it's a pity that personally I think it is Malema himself who's undoing or doing the EFF a disservice. If indeed they work hard and remove Athol Trollip, they will look back in the years to come to say there was a potential for the party, but we lost the plot then. Remember, it is a people of the Eastern Cape. And indeed, it's a well-run metro, and indeed by a well-loved, capable man in the name of Athol Trollip. Hence, I'm saying, either way it goes, in the long run, I think the EFF has hurt itself so much in the past 3 months, and if they can find it within themselves and listen to the words of advice and not be impervious to positive influence, they will have to really look deep into themselves. Otherwise, I think they will implode. It's just a matter of time. Once upon a time, there was a party by the name of Cope, and is a shadow of his former self. And they too, they might be thinking, and I thought they were punching at one stage above their weight. Yeah. But the body punches they give themselves. It's almost harakiri, so to speak.
Prof, I have to come in here. I mean, it's not only the ANC and the EFF have problems, but the Democratic Alliance also has its problems. Race now taking center stage in the fight for the soul for that party. And really the issue is, if the caucus remains largely white, if race is not adopted, if a diversity is not adopted as a value, how does the party sell itself as an alternative for South Africa?
Look, I think they are facing an existential crisis, and they've been there before. But they must be seen to be responsive to the call, especially by those within the party, fairly senior and in leadership positions. Unless they do that, right now they are on an upward trajectory, but their growth might be stunted. I think they have to be seen to be transforming, although I don't like the word transform because it's also very corrupted in my country as of now. But something must be done to accommodate as many people of color in the leadership positions, because right now the DA, I think, is more than 60 if not 70% black, and it is no longer very convincing to say it is white. Neither would one say these are average foot soldiers and pedestrians who are supporting it. If anything, it's the middle class and the elite from the black community that is supporting the DA. And they must be seen to be appreciative of that support and do something to ensure that they are representative at the top level.
Political analyst Professor Lesiba Teffo, live from our Pretoria studios. The major parties gunning for votes in 2019 all have some thinking to do. Over to you.